What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this one, I'm going to be showing you how to make Granny 1. This is part, well, 1. And in this one, we're going to be doing the bottom, pretty much 3 floors. We're going to be getting the 2 basements done along with the foyer room itself. I will not be showing the full thing in here, and I do have night vision for this. If you want a non-night vision look, because I actually cared about lighting in this build, and full tour, hopefully I'll have that video linked, although I'll probably forget. But yeah, here is all we're doing. That is all. Hopefully this shouldn't be too long of a tutorial series overall. And with that being said, enjoy the tutorial, and I will catch you on the flip side. That's the size of the build, by the way, right there, as you can see. And there's what we actually did over there. Alrighty, so the space for me for this is a 46 by 45. Now, if you... or just, I guess, for the general thing, we're going to be starting with the garage, which is the bottom floor, and then we're just going to work our way up. One thing I will point out... oh, you see this little line of blocks here? This would be the ground level. The door, or the floor, I guess, where the, main floor is, would be above that by a block. But I believe, if I remember correctly, the granny house is a porch, and generally I would just like to go one, below that with the porch, so it has a little step down. That is if I make the outside, just kind of a general thing. You see this is a row of, I believe, 7 emerald blocks, just because I felt like using emerald because they're tiled. And then, yeah, the 8th block up would be the floor. We are starting above this grid, so that first block of the 7 is where the everything will start. You want to start by getting out the following materials anyway. Diorite, calcite, stripped oak wood, stone slabs, stone blocks, stone stairs, and we'll go oak doors, stripped dark oak wood, maybe oak trapdoors, maybe. Yeah, I guess I said it, so we'll go with it. If you start from the front left-hand corner of your 46 by 45 grid cough, if you've made it, I'm just realizing the other side would have been closer, but whatever, I already got this number. You want to start by counting right from this block by 22. And going right, you will place 6 diorite. Extend either end of diorite back by 5. So you should have a U. The right side of the U, you'll bring this diorite to the right by 3, and the left one you'll bring to the left by 5. Either diorite end here you'll bring back by 11. And then you'll connect together at the back there. That is your garage and the sauna room. Fill in the entire floor with diorite. The walls will sit on top of the outer rows of diorite, just so we are on the same page. Hopefully everyone is having a good day or night. I am for the most part. I'm not sure my voice is like that, but, that's okay. I'm not the most abnormal. Nice. So... from this point, we're going to take the left side specifically, and we're going to kind of just work with each wall. If you take this, I guess the front left diorite, it's of the backmost rectangle. We're ignoring this guy at the front. You're going to place a calcite on this one and extend it back by 3. Then go back with 4 upward-facing stripped dark oak wood, and then what should be 4 more calcite. You extend the front and backmost calcites all the way right, and then you'll connect them over the furthest right row of diorite as well. Which will give you this. We'll have to break one for the doorway, obviously, but that's fine. The little diorite that sits on front, this space, is almost square, but it's still a rectangle. You're going to just place stripped oak wood facing up on top of each end diorite. Which will give you a 4 by 3, I believe, in the middle, yeah. On the back wall of this room, which would be the one that shares with the garage, you'll take the rightmost stripped oak wood and break it, along with the calcite behind it, which will give you a doorway. In this doorway, from the sauna room specifically, you're going to just place in the middle of the calcite and oak door, kind of on that front side. And the handle should just face the way it would face if you were on bedrock, which is to the right. Each stripped oak wood, calcite, or stripped dark oak wood, you will extend up by 2, and then you'll also bring them over top of the doorway, because we do want that. It's going to be annoying to do the stripped oak wood to keep it upward, but that's fine. You technically don't need corners if you want. I like adding the corners sometimes. This is one of those builds that I just ended up adding them all, because I felt like it was better. But yeah. Depending on how this does, there will be a Granny 2 remake. I haven't started it yet. I'm waiting for this tutorial to release in order to do that. Same as I've done with Badum, which I haven't really started Chapter 2 yet of Badum, because I'm just kind of on the fence about it. Anyway, you should have this. The next thing we technically have to do is the ceiling, but I would rather do the staircase first because of reasons. So, if you are in the front right-hand corner of the garage room itself, the calcite walls one, right here you want to place a stone block. Extend it back by 4, and then place a slab behind it from there. If you start from that slab and look towards the actual like front of the build, you're going to take this stone block here and count away from you by a block and place a stair on top of that one. From that stair, you'll go 4 diagonally up with a slab, which would be towards the actual front, then towards the front still with a block, and then up diagonally forward with a stone stair, and you'll bring all of that, including stone underneath it all, kind of like this. You're going to bring all that left a row, which would be the only way you can bring it, I suppose. And yeah. Nice. You do want to go above the walls with this precisely, but you want to fill in the ceiling with diorite. Now I'm going to go, again, I'll go directly on top of the calcite walls because this floor is, I think every single side overhangs here, but I'm not sure. We'll just kind of fill that in for now and worry about it or later. As for where these staircases, you do want to leave a gap. Obviously, it should just be literally directly like above each stone block. You see these slabs here, if I look up, it should be gap. But if I take this die right here and look up, there should be die right there. And yeah. That'll give you roughly what you are looking for here. And yeah. Oh, this really will be a quick tutorial, I've got a feeling, like overall. Generally the room layouts take ages, but and the detailing, but this is generally fairly basic. We're going to start with the sauna, but I don't want to clear inventory just yet because we're going to need the stone for the car, and I kind of want to try to save that for as long as possible. So head into the sauna, and in the middle row of the floor, this row of 4 diorite, you're going to just place oak trapdoors directly off of it. Up against this, I guess, back wall here, be the front wall from the actual grid perspective, but back wall from the door, you'll place oak trapdoors off the middle row of stripped oak wood. Get rid of the oak trapdoors and get out a black banner for just a brief second, and along the front wall in this corner off of this stripped oak wood, you're placing a black banner. It should be half in the ground, but that's, I think it's like an AC vent or something. I'm not sure, or I guess the sauna vent. I don't know what they're particularly for. Anyway, you can leave this room and get rid of everything except for your, I believe, just your stone, no, I guess all 3, stone stairs, blocks, and slabs. And get out the following in addition. Mud. Item frames, dark oak signs, black stained glass panes, black stained glass blocks, and light gray carpet. Because this build is a 2-block center, the car is a 2-block center, it does look really weird. You're just going to have to deal with that, unfortunately, because it's really the only 2-block car I could make that made sense. It's also really freaking short in the game. I don't know if you're just like 8 feet tall or what, but, you know, it is a tiny car, but I did kind of upscale it a little bit just so it worked. Anyway, from the center of the garage door here, which is the stripped dark oak, if that wasn't obvious, you want to leave a gap of 2 extending over and place a couple of upside down stone stairs facing towards the center 2 blocks. Extend either one back, which is going to be towards the staircase in the setting with a mud. Then 2 upside down stone stairs that face outwards, which will be left and right. Then mud, and then upside down stone stairs that face back. Off the sides of the mud here, you'll place item frames. Between the two tires, you're going to take the set of upside down stairs closest to the front tires, which is this set, and you're going to place black stained glass panes on top. Behind those panes, black stained glass blocks. Behind those blocks, a set of stone stairs that'll face into each other, like so. And then behind that, you want stone slabs on the far back. With the exception of the very back row of the car, each of the front 5, you'll just place light gray carpet on top of the frontmost, or upmost, whatever. Nice. The upside down stone stairs here on the front of the car, you'll just place dark oak signs off of, and then there is your little car. I guess it's not very little, it is as tall as you, but yeah, I feel like that's still small for a car. I don't know. You, I think, can clear your inventory. I hope we don't need the dark oak signs at all. We do not, and get out the following. Polished diorite stairs. Polished diorite slabs. Spruce doors. Spruce trapdoors. Iron bars. Dark oak fence gates. Hay bales. Spruce stairs. And spruce slabs. Sure. Starting with the garage door itself, you're going to take either top corner or strip dark oak wood and place an iron bar off of it. If you're looking at it, you'll take the right iron bar, and below it you'll place a spruce striped door with one to the right. That's like the little lock that's on it, so you can't just, open it. In the corner to the right of the garage here, this particular block, you're going to count, I guess, along the wall and place an opposite unpolished diorite stair facing towards the opposite corner, which would be right from the front of the grid, but that's not particularly important. Extend it, well, to the right if you're looking at this wall now, with 3 upside down slabs. Upside down stair facing left. Upside down stair facing right. 3 upside down slabs, and then an upside down stair facing left. Copy that row one more time. And then in this little 1 block corner you have, if you stand on the block, you're going to look towards the staircase and just place a spruce door to kind of cover you up. And then above you, you'll place a spruce trap door as well, which should look like this from the outside. Just a little locker. Along this wall with the staircase, you're going to leave the first 3 calcite open, and this next one you're going to break and replace with a dark oak fence gate. If you head to the outside, you're going to crouch place off of that fence gate a hay bale, which will give you the yellow side of the hay bale visible like so. I don't know what this is, but there's, I think, 2 of them in the build. This one doesn't appear to have anything, and then the other one has like a whole section going on. I don't know, it's weird. I'm guessing it's a reference to something, some other game, but I just have no idea. In the corner of this room, which, well, that's specific, there's 4 of them. In the only corner we haven't done anything in, I guess, to the left of the garage door, if you're looking at it, you're going to place an upside down spruce stair facing kind of towards the sauna door. Keep extending that direction with 2 upside down spruce slabs, and then another upside down spruce stair facing back into those. You can clear your inventory and get out the following. Stone button. Pale oak button. Oak fence. Red candles. And white carpet. On the little table we just made out of spruce, you're going to take the block in the corner and place 2 red candles on top. I'm going to say something about that in a second that's important. Left of that, you'll have 2 white carpets. It's preferred the candles line up like this, to where essentially they're next to each other going along the length of the table. Not necessarily a huge deal, just if it is the other way, you have a 50-50 chance of it being the same. I maybe would consider adding a 3rd. Yeah, I probably would. Although it's up to you. Really. Head to the sauna door, and from the top half of it, count right by 2 and place a pale oak button. Down diagonally left of that, you'll place a stone button. And then if you count to the opposite side of the door and then up 1, off this calcite, you'll place an oak fence. That is the bottom floor done. Unfortunately, that is the easiest of the floors, and they only get more annoying from here. But, it's 1 down, so I can't really complain. You want to start by getting out the following. diorite, stripped pale oak wood, pale oak slabs, spruce planks, spruce stairs, spruce slabs, spruce trap doors, stripped oak wood, and anything else that's helpful? We get out the singular lightning rod, why not? So starting from this position, you're going to take, if you were to just walk up the stairs, the diorite that you directly have here, you want to make it 3 rows in total, so just extend it out an additional 2, and that includes both sides of the sauna room. To the left of the staircase, you want another row as well, so to make it 2. We're going to essentially lay out however many we need on each side of an area, and then we're going to make the walls from there, kind of. It won't exactly work that way, but it is what it is. In front of the opening of the staircase, you should have 5 blocks, and that is all good. To the right, you should have, I don't actually know, you should have 11. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, which also lines up. Perfect. Off the outermost row of diorite on each side, just kind of ignoring the little bump out where the sauna is, you're going to place upward-facing strip pale oak wood just going around. Don't make it 3 tall or anything yet, because we're going to break a few 4 doorways and stuff. I know I am doing that a little bit differently than normal, but just because of the way this build functions with the floor and the ceiling being the same, I feel like it makes more sense to be able to build directly off of it, especially when we have blocks like this one where you have to, you know, place like that. Anyway, on the front wall, which would be, well, I guess that's technically the back wall, but the front wall, which would be behind the staircase, you want to take the... It'll be in line with the right half of the staircase. You will break this stripped pale oak wood. On the right wall, which is this one, you're going to leave the first one open from the inside and then break the next one, which is also 2 from the corner, or including the corner. Then you can bring each stripped pale oak wood up by 2, and over top of the openings, the middle block, I guess the first stripped pale oak you bring up, you'll just go over it with an upside down pale oak slab and then have a stripped pale oak wood on top of that. And that'll just give you these little pathways you have to crouch through, because they're really short in the game. They're probably more like a block, but you can't crouch that low in Minecraft without doing some trapdoor stuff. And I didn't feel like doing all that, so I didn't. One thing very interesting about grannies in general, with any object you can like push over, it will respawn back to its like original position, which is very interesting. Like not even between days, it just will do that, because it feels like it, I guess. I don't really know. Anyway, yeah. We'll do the staircase because we might as well. Where the stone staircase is, you're doing pretty much the same thing, just there's a couple of weird changes. We'll start at the front and we'll place the spruce slabs up diagonally from the diorite in the middle. Behind it, instead of placing spruce planks, you're going to place a couple of upside down spruce stairs that face towards each other. Then up diagonally back from that, just regular old spruce stairs. Up diagonally back, spruce slabs. Behind those slabs again, the upside down spruce stairs that face into each other. And then from there, you should be able to go up diagonally back with spruce stairs. And we'll fill in the ceiling with spruce planks in line with that again. I'll go directly on top of the walls. And same thing applies where you are making sure you just leave exactly where the staircase is open. So basically above any diorite only is where you're filling in the ceiling, or I guess the walls. Actually, the walls are technically above diorite, so that still applies, I would assume. That's kind of flawed logic, but it's logic that makes enough sense in my head, so I'm not going to question it. Anyway, that's perhaps on an unrelated note. Nice, you shoot up this. You have a giant box right now with some very odd things going on. It's like a box stack, I guess. Anyway. So, underneath the staircase you just made, and basically going up to the stone stairs here, you want to place spruce trap doors opened up against the outside, but they're off of the stone directly. The only really thing I would say is cut it off where the diorite is, so basically do not go in line with the diorite, but just like underneath all of this, You want a bunch of spruce trap doors, and they want to connect into the ceiling. It's hard to explain, but it looks like this. And again, you see I can actually place blocks over here up against the trapdoors because they are on the inside. So, yeah, it works better this way, trust me. Because of the fact it's a 2-block staircase, if I were to bring both these out, I'd have to push this wall a block, and I'd probably also have to push that a block. And it worked fine, because I didn't want the layout, I didn't want to go too large on an area where the staircase was 2 blocks. The walls aren't really as thick as they seem. Even though I have to double layer them in spots, but that is what it is. Anyway, from this point, if you take the backmost row of spruce trap doors, you're going to extend it to the right here with 7 rows of spruce planks. I love these 3-block tall ceilings. They're so nice to work with. They suck for actual height to jump, but they're so easy to build up stuff with. To the right of that, you'll have a row of stripped oak wood, which will then be brought towards you a row, which should be forward. Or, I don't really know what direction forward is anymore. I think that way is forward, right? Yeah, no, because the front door is on that side. I know that. Anywho, there's a couple of stripped pale oak pillars we have to worry about in the center of the room. If you take the spruce staircase again in the right half of it, you will count towards you by 2 and place a pillar just directly here. It is kind of in your way, but just don't fall down the stairs. I feel like if you just, like, that would really cause a problem if you fell down the stairs into that. Oh, God. Especially if it's a concrete pillar, which I think it is, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm not a concrete expert. Anyway, trace this all the way right, and you'll leave 2 blocks from the right wall and place another pillar basically in line with it. Nice. The only other thing, I guess we have the spruce trap doors, actually, we can do something else with. Yeah, let's start with that. So on this little wall here of spruce planks, specifically on the front half of it, you're going to, on the very ends, place spruce trap doors open kind of towards the inside, like so. Between them, you'll place spruce trap doors off the top half of their blocks, and then above those, you'll do the same thing, but these will be opened up against the spruce plank wall. I think it's a bench. I don't know, it has a picture frame on it, which makes me think it's not a bench. Because why would you put a picture frame on a bench? But anyway, still not important. If you head to the back side of this wall, it's like, we'll count over from the stripped oak to the 3rd spruce planks heading towards the staircase, and then you'll count to the back diode and just place a lightning rod here. This thing is actually white, but the lightning rod is like the perfect shape, so I just sacrificed the color for the shape. Sometimes you gotta figure out which one makes more sense to roll with, and for me it was that in that situation. You could absolutely make it like an end rod or something, but I didn't actually want it to light up to build. Anyway, now you can, I've said anyway way too many times in this video. You want to get out now. Dark oak fence after you've cleared your inventory. Dark oak trap doors. Item frame. Skeleton skull. Composters. Pale oak planks. Yawn. Pale oak trap door. Acacia log or wood, it makes like a 1 pixel difference. So I'm going to go with wood because you technically can see the gray, or the orange, I mean. And stone pressure plates. I think that'll finish our room, yeah. Off of the right of the pillar that would become a safety hazard in most houses, you want to place dark oak fence to the right of the bottom 2 blocks. Trace those forward and up against the front wall here. You're going to crouch place a couple of dark oak trapdoors open up against the wall. This would be the thing for here that would cover it, but I just have it over a block so you actually can, you know, go through that without having to do some weird thing. I guess you could do like this and then go through, but yeah. To the left of the top half, if you're looking at this, you're going to place an item frame on the 2nd block with a skeleton skull in it. Keep tracing the wall until you find the next hole, and just beyond it a block, you'll place 2, whoopsies, you'll place 2 composters on top of one another, like so. From that bottom composter, you'll count left by 3 and place a pale oak plank with a pale oak trapdoor opened up against the side of it that is, I guess, away from that wall. That is the little safe. I don't actually know what's in the safe, fun fact. You're going to keep going and place 2 composters on top of each other in that corner there. Actually, the items are randomized in location, so yeah, I discovered that one, unfortunately, when I was trying to figure out a puzzle, because I needed to get to the spider room. Anyway, to the left of this bottom strip, pale oak wood, you want to place a composter. Behind that composter, you want another composter, and then on top of that one, you want another one. These are so annoying to place. This is where the 3-block ceiling becomes my enemy. I'm going to even do that because it's just not worth it. Still in this room, I think there's one thing left, unless there's any composters on the other wall. There's not. Where this bench is here, just to the left of it, where you have, I guess, it's the diorite with the spruce trapdoor on top of it. You'll count forward by 1 and place an acacia wood facing up. In front of it, you want another one, and then you'll have stone pressure plates on top of either. These are barrels. I never use normal barrels for barrels because the barrels are gray. I said barrel one too many times there. But, yeah. We'll worry about the pathways, like, off on either side here later. We'll pretty much just connect those in once we do some other stuff. 25 minutes and 3 rooms done. That is actually crazy. Usually Poppy Playtime is like, oh, what's that? You want to finish a room in one part? No thanks. Anyway, you want to start by getting out the following for the next room. Spruce planks, probably. Pale moss block. Tough slabs. Spruce trapdoors. Spruce doors. Spruce stairs. Oak fence. Oak slab. And anything under the staircase? Sure, a dark oak slab, why not? We're going to do this one a little bit differently than we have been, I think, just because of the way this area works entirely. Because all the floors on this floor are spruce planks, which I think also applies to the top 2 floors, except for the bathroom. So I guess that is kind of a funny exception. But just to the, if you're looking at the staircase like you just walked up at, the spruce plank row to the left of it, you're going to place pale moss blocks on top of. And they'll extend 1 block further back just because. And I think also forward, yeah. So it'll be 1 longer on either side. You'll take the front, I guess. Yeah, backmost pale moss block, which I guess is frontmost from the angle we're using, but it's backmost because that side is the front, and you'll extend this right by 3. And then towards the legitimate front of the build with 6 pale moss. You have a misshapen U. You'll take that same back corner of pale moss here, and you will extend this right an additional, hold on, I need this. You'll extend it right an additional 8. Then extend back basically as far as you can. Now, these walls are going to get changed a little bit, so we're not like entirely concerned about this, but extend it until you're at the same point of that one over there, which I think is 7 back. Or 7 towards the actual front, yeah, just like so. We'll add an additional row of spruce planks off of the front here, and just on top of the full thing, well, I guess going to pale moss, or from end pale moss to end pale moss, you'll place a line here on the front. Which will give you this, essentially. That's kind of the shape of your foyer room. And we'll build the entire foyer doorways and stuff included in before we move on. As I mentioned, the staircase has, like, the underside of the walls changed, so before we actually build up the walls, you want to place a spruce stair just to the right of this pale moss here. We're actually using the front now officially, and we probably will for most of this room. But you'll bring this spruce stair up diagonally back an additional 3. I'll just do this, whatever. Not ideal to place, but that's okay. And then right of each of those, you'll place spruce stairs facing into the previous ones. You can, if you want, underneath the staircase in general, just place spruce planks, so you can place these stairs easier. Underneath the right row specifically, which is the row we're placing. Extend that top row of stairs back with 4 rows of spruce planks. And we'll just stop there for a moment, I think. Nah, you'll extend those 4 right by 6 each. Now we can add the under the staircase room, because this one is the one that's bothering me right now. Still heading along, you should have 3 spruce planks beyond this stair here. You're gonna extend it with an additional 2 spruce planks, and then in the very corner here you want a spruce door. Or up against the wall, I guess. The pale moss just to the right of the spruce door, behind it you're going to make a spruce plank, along with the 2 heading into the corner, which would be left, and then 3 moving forward, we will say. This frontmost one you'll extend right with a spruce plank, which will give you this little 1x2. It's almost like an L shape, including the door of spruce planks. Extend each of these spruce planks up by 2, including the doorway up with a singular spruce plank. And then if you were to head back inside this room, you're going to place another row of spruce planks at the ceiling. And then, like, the corner furthest from the door of this singular block, you'll just place an upside down dark oak slab there. And that is this room done. Fairly simple. We can extend each pale moss block up by 2 now, I think. It seems like a fair time to do this. Although there is a door on the front, which I kind of forgot about twice now. So we'll just worry about that in a second. Just like so. Nice. Let's get that door done, shall we? So first off, actually, so we can mark it, kind of a weird reason to mark, or weird way to mark it, but if you take this row of spruce planks on the top floor here, the like little, above the staircase, the balcony, you'll take the right row of spruce planks and just extend it forward until it's, I guess we'll go on top of the pale moss just to keep it consistent. The only thing is the front wall is flat entirely, and we do know that, other than the staircase, which is actually pretty much above this plank. But anyway, you'll extend that row of spruce to the right by 3, which should make it on top of the pale moss wall over here. From the front here, you'll take this spruce plank, and you will count left of it by 2. And you're going to break basically all of the moss blocks here, of the next 2 rows. From the... I guess from the outside, yeah, if you're looking forward, you're going to take the right half of this and place a spruce door just on the outside of it. From the inside off of each of the remaining blocks of this 2x3, you're going to crouch and place spruce trap doors and open them so they are flush with the door. These are I made the 2x3 doors, or the larger doors, because for some reason, like, half of the doors in this map are just a little bit bigger than the rest, and I did want to show that. Anyway. How do I even want to explain this? What we're going to start with is the spruce planks here, like just from the original row of the stairs, you're going to extend left with another row of spruce planks. Every pale moss block that has not been touched yet, you will bring up with 4 pale moss, which includes over the doorway at the front here. It's really just this front wall and a little bit on the left. It's not a ton. Just like so. In addition, the 2 walls that actually you do bring up, you'll connect the top 4 rows of pale moss together just right here. Kind of going forward. You can then place spruce trap doors off the underside of that doorway. You can actually do the same thing on the right side. It's just where this row of pale moss is from the staircase, you'll just place spruce trap doors behind the top block. In addition, the left half of the staircase, this row of pale moss, you'll extend just right with 2 upside down tough slabs from the top, which will give you the same kind of thing. I didn't add the door here because of those slabs. I wanted that to be a little bit lower and to almost, you know, show the fact that it's different. But I didn't end up adding the door because of that. It is what it is, I guess. I would say it's like spruce color if you are willing or are interested in adding it. It is up to you. Anyway. Heading up now to this left wall. We're going to just go around and kind of make the rest of the walls here. From this row of pale moss, you want to go back an additional 1, so it should be just kind of off this first spruce plank. And then back from there, you'll be on the outside, you'll place a spruce door. Inside, a spruce trap door open up against, I guess, the same kind of wall, so you'd have a, you know, flush door. Behind that, a pale moss. Extend a right one. Right with a spruce trap door open up against the back. Right with a spruce door in line with that, and also facing into it. Then right with 4 pale moss. Again, a spruce trap door, and then a spruce door. 2 pale moss. Then extend forward by 6. Spruce trap door, and spruce door again. Forward with 2 moss. Left 1, gap of 1, left 1. This block is an oak door that we just don't have yet, but you want to... Do what you would expect. So basically, each pale moss will bring up by 2. The only doorway that's connecting over is this 1 block 1 at the front here, where it's, going to be 1 by 2. And then every other doorway, you're just bringing these spruce trap doors up and around to fill in the 2 by 3. And yeah. Wow, we really will finish that many rooms. That's crazy. Does make me feel good, though, about the part numbers, because this build took, like, 4.5 hours, I think. Which, overall, isn't terrible. And a tutorial, as I figure, would be like 5 hours, maybe? Give or take. Anyway, you can fill in the ceiling with spruce planks. Make sure you go on top of the walls for this one, very much so, because it's going to end up being important for the doorway specifically, and just fill it in. And I think we're going to actually end up breaking the area for the attic now. Well, not right now, but as we're in the mix of doing all of this. And that'll just help us when we do the attic to be like, okay, yeah, no, this is where that should line up. Should end up with this. Around the outer edge of the balcony, you're going to place oak fence on all of these spruce planks here. That it should connect into this wall, and it should just basically stop before the staircase. You could go one further if you wanted to here, but I feel like that impedes on the staircase a little bit too much, and I don't like that. Time to run around and do details that we can right now. Front wall is where we'll start. Left and right of the door, you're going to leave a gap of 1 from the center block and place an upside down oak slab on either side. Turning back around, you're going to take the left wall, and above the doorway, which would be into the kitchen on the left side here, you're going to count to the second row of pale moss up and place upside down oak slabs like so. Turning back to the right wall, you want to take the second row of pale moss here behind, or just from the staircase, this row right here, and you want to place a spruce door off of the wall by a block. Well, not off of it by a full block, but it's going to be on the block just to the left of the wall, and then it'll be on the inside or outside of that. If you stand on that block that the door is just on, left and right of you, you're going to place spruce doors like that, and then above you, you're placing a spruce trapdoor. That is the closet design. Get used to that, because you're going to see it a lot in this build particularly. That is literally just the Hello Neighbor new closet design if I took the door and pushed it in. That's interesting. I didn't even notice that, nor do that intentionally. Anyway, I need to stop saying that word. Clear your inventory and get out the following. Candles. Paintings. Spruce stairs. Spruce slabs. Oak hanging signs. And I feel like that's everything. Oh no, we need the oak door. Duh. So we're actually going to start with that. If you head upstairs, just where this 1 by 2 door is on the front wall, you're just placing an oak door in it. Nothing fancy. Handle faces right. That's about the fanciest thing about it. On top of either of the singular upside down oak slabs, you'll place candles on top. Directing your attention to the left wall where the staircase is. I say this in a weird way, but if you're looking at this side, you're going to take the top right of the doorway, basically off this trapdoor, but you're not placing anything. You're starting here, and you're going to go up diagonally right from that block and place 3 1 by 1 paintings. Try to make them all different, but other than that, it really doesn't matter what they look like. As for the hole in the ceiling, you want to take the block just in front of the closet here on the right wall, and you just kind of want to stand on this spruce plank. Trace up and break that plank just like so. So you can see where that hole is. To the left of that, you want to break an additional 2 planks. Behind that arrow, you're going to go left to right and replace these spruce planks with an upside down spruce slab. Upside down spruce stair facing forward, and then the end one does not change. The front left one you will break and replace with a spruce stair facing backwards, and then right of that here you want an upside down spruce slab. Fill in the center of this. You're going to have to go off the spruce planks on the sides here when you do this, but you're going to fill in the center of this with oak hanging signs just kind of going across. You'll crouch place them like so. And yeah, it'll just fill in that thing. What's great about that, it doesn't really particularly look good from the underside, but if I go outside and show you, You can actually walk on this, and it functions as the little wooden board here, which is definitely better than using trapdoors, which I think is what I did on the original one, and really anything else, I feel like. I would say that is one of the better options. Not to say that I'm smart, but, you know, I'm a pretty big genius. Anyway, Patrick, your genius is showing. But, with that being said, once you've done that, ladies and gentlemen, that is part 1 of Granny Chapter 1 complete. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. I do plan on doing Granny 2, as I mentioned. Based on the poll, which talked about, or which was asking about which tutorial you guys are most excited for, Granny 1 almost unanimously. I think it was like double the votes from the next one, which is Security Breach Atrium. So, yeah, definitely do plan on doing 2 because of that, although I would obviously have to build it first, and I would presume by the time you're seeing this, it still wouldn't have been started, as what I mentioned earlier. But anyway, with that being said, have a fantastic rest of your day or night, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.